It's time for Toyota to make a choice, to make a decision based upon the negative views, I guess, on the new Toyota Tacoma. You know, at first, I thought a lot of it was just trolls, and I'm sure part of it is. You know, there's people out there that have a bone to pick with Toyota, right? Maybe they worked for Toyota, maybe they worked for a dealership, maybe they work for a competitive model now. So they're spreading as much negativity as they can about the new Toyota Tacoma. I'm sure there's a facet out there that's doing that. But I have to say, after shooting a few videos and talking about the new Tacoma and trying to get a feel for what people really think about it, I'm convinced that there are a lot of bona fide views out there, real views, I mean thoughts, concerns, about this new truck that people just don't like. I guess I was in maybe a state of denial before, right? Well, I'm not anymore. It appears that there is some deep malcontent, hatred for the new Toyota Tacoma, and not just the truck itself. I think it's more so what Toyota has done. People feel slighted. They're hurt by what Toyota has done with pricing and the powertrain, let's be honest, in the truck. You know, people did not want a 4-cylinder turbo engine. I don't know if that's justified or not. For me personally, I think it's a good thing. I like the way the truck is now. I like the way the power band works. That is the 4-cylinder turbo in conjunction with the new transmission. I think it's a step forward. I think it's awesome. But not a lot of people would agree with me. They want the V6. Heck, there are even people out there who would want a V8. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could have a V8 in the Tacoma? I don't think I'd care what it looked like if they put a V8 in it, because that would be fantastic. Of course, that's fallacy, that's a dream, that's never gonna happen. But what's the road back for Toyota? What can they possibly do? Well, obviously, for those who don't want a 4-cylinder turbo, there is no road back. Those folks are going somewhere else, whether they're going to go with a late model Tacoma or a competitor like Nissan, maybe Honda, I don't know, maybe some really older trucks, or maybe even go full size. Of course, it's tough to even get a V8 now in a full size unless you go with maybe a late model Tundra. But even they have a V6 turbo, twin turbo, that people don't like. So it's kind of two missteps for Toyota, right? They've kind of alienated part of their Tundra crowd and their Tacoma crowd. You know, when you think about it, what is Toyota thinking? What are they doing? Well, one of the big rumors out there, and maybe it's more fact, of course I don't know which way it goes as far as application, but that's the government. One is that the government is mandating through fuel economy or emission standards, and the only way that Toyota can adhere to such things is to go with a 4-cylinder turbo. I don't know. Or they're getting incentives to do that. In other words, maybe the government is reducing taxes and things on those makers. I don't know which way it is. I'm not a scholar when it comes to government regulations and taxes and stuff, but that is one of the biggest rumors, and it certainly is possible. I mean, obviously, if Toyota can save some money, become more profitable by adhering to government standards, they're going to do that in the end. I mean, unfortunately, their hands are kind of tied. That's just the way it is. So, for those who would accept the 4-cylinder turbo, what is Toyota's road back? Well, obviously, lower the price. Now, are they going to lower the MSRP itself? I doubt they would do that. However, they can lower the price, and who really cares how they get there as long as they do? They can lower the price via incentives, cash back, things like that. Money that is going to lower what you're going to spend for the truck. I suggested in a previous video they ought to do somewhere around $3,000, maybe $4,000 is probably realistic. Will they do that? I don't know. It depends. You and I will determine if they do that. I mean, the power is in our wallets, right? If we don't go in and buy these trucks, they're going to have to do something. It's either that, settle for a lower market share, or discontinue the line. which, by the way, somebody suggested, you know, maybe Toyota is trying to phase out the Tacoma and only have a Tundra and a mini truck. I find that very difficult to believe. I mean, when you've got the #1 selling mid-size truck, at least in the 2023, why would you get rid of that line? It doesn't make any sense to me. That is a horrible business decision. I wouldn't think anybody out there would do that, but it's something that has been brought forward, kind of a conspiracy theory, I guess. So they can lower the price via rebates, money back, cash back, whatever. Secondly, they could, and I think what they should do is this in conjunction with lowering the pricing, and that is to offer incentives in the form of lower interest rates for loans. I mean, Toyota has a finance branch, right? So they can pretty much do what they want with the rates. They could go to 0.9, they could go to 2%, whatever. Anything that is substantially below what the going rate is out there, coupled with a lower price, could bring people back to the brand. Again, if they don't mind the 4-cylinder turbo, they could do that. The other option, I suppose, is to maybe lower the price a little bit, but include more standard features in the truck, because that has been a big point of contention with a lot of people that I've been getting comments from, and also I've seen all over the web. Add things back in that used to be standard in the truck. That's something they could do pretty easily, right? And from a cost standpoint, that's probably the lowest impact to Toyota. I mean, if they put a rear slider back in the truck as a standard feature, that's not going to cost them a ton of money. Not as much as it would lowering the price of the truck by $3 or $4 grand, right? They could put the 10-way power adjustable seats back in. And I'm talking about at the same or the equivalent trim levels as they were in before. The TRD lines, everything above that, and even some dressed up SR5s. I don't think you're ever going to get a power adjustable seat in an SR. That would really shake things up, wouldn't it? So I don't know. Now, there's one other thing to consider here. What if Toyota is planning on releasing a mid-size truck, say the Stout? There's been another name bandied around. I don't remember what it is, but let's say they're making room for that. So we've got the Tundra, we've got the Tacoma, and then we've got this entry-level mid-size Stout, for example. That could explain some of the reasoning for upping the price on the Tacoma, right? They know they're going to take a hit, but they hope to make a lot of that money back in the form of profits on a mid-size, more affordable truck. Is that what Toyota is thinking? Time will tell. We really don't know. We shall see, I suppose. Anyway, that's just a little bit of a roadmap, in my opinion, of how Toyota might be able to lure some folks that they may have lost back into the fold. Leave a comment. Let me know if you agree with those things. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.